Welcome, everyone, to this Metal Talk from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards. I'm going to be your moderator today, and our topic is maximizing metal margins with MetalVue. And our presenter today is Junie Lee from Sherwin-Williams. Hey, Junie, it's great to
Hey,
see you.
Karen. Thank you for having
Yeah.
me. Good to see you also.
Yeah, well, before we start with introductions and telling you a little bit about Junie and who he is and what he does there, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping items. This is being recorded and it will be available on Metal Coffee Shop within 24 to 48 hours. So you can share it with any colleagues who you feel would benefit from all the information and tips we're going to share with you today. The chat's open as well, so feel free to drop any comments you have in the chat or any questions. We will take a look at your questions, try to answer them as we go, and as always, we've saved some time at the end to address any additional questions. So let's get things rolling. Junie, tell us about yourself.
Yes, ma'am. So my name is Junie Lee. I joined the coil marketing team back in 2024. So this is now my 12th year with the company, originally part of Valspar. Now I get to be a member of the largest coatings company in the world. So it's a great opportunity. My background prior to joining the coil business unit was in sourcing, did some logistics, distribution, warehousing, so certain functions within supply chain and operations. And I made the leap about 3 years ago, and now I get to work with awesome people such as yourself, Metal Coffee Shop,
Oh,
our customers, other partners. So no regrets. It's been a lot of fun.
yeah, wow. So, we're going to dive into the MetalVue program and some of its features and offerings. But before we do that, I want to talk more about why more people are choosing metal. And I just heard a number the other day that someone said it was about 22% of the residential roofing market right now. Correct me if that's wrong, but it just continues to grow. And what are your thoughts about why?
No, I agree. I think it does continue to grow. I think despite certain conditions, it still drives a lot of interest from folks, especially homeowners, consumers. I think the reasons why are laid out pretty clearly, right? Metal is a very durable product, and within the durability, you still have several options based on the gauge and thickness of the steel. So, I mean, you have a 26 gauge roof. If you're in the Midwest, it'll do well. 24 gauge in hail areas do very well, and so on and so forth. And so you have options when it comes to protecting your home, especially knowing that in areas where you're prone to some extreme weather, especially hurricanes, a lot of failures of a home starts with a roof. Once a little bit of water gets in, it can really destroy a property. So a roof, a durable roofing material is extremely important, right? And then beyond that, energy efficiency. Um, I think sustainability is a big topic, and within the field of sustainability, you have energy efficiency, especially delivered by our coatings. And so a lot of our coatings can be measured through the solar reflectance and solar reflectance and the thermal emittance, which ultimately gives you the solar reflectance index. I gotta make sure I get this right, or else my sustainability manager will get on me. But no, but it all translates into an actual measurement, right? So that means that on an annual basis, our coating will help you save money on your energy bills, especially during the warm season. So it just comes down to value. Like, what is your roof doing for you beyond just the aesthetics, excuse me? Are you actually getting value out of your roof?
Very, very good question because
Hmm.
it should give back, right? Yes, it's
Absolutely.
there to provide the necessary protection, but if it can give back to you, why not?
Why not?
And that's the investment, right? Because you have to look at
Hmm.
that ROI over the life cycle, which is very long. And if it's going to help with energy efficiency, yeah, that's fantastic. But let's talk
Hmm.
about the aesthetics too.
Yeah,
Like, there used to be a thought that, oh, well, metal roofs, they go on barns and they call them tin roofs. And, but wow, metal is it's really changed.
it's really changed. It's one of those things where I feel like when I was before I joined the team, when I drove around, I never noticed it. And after I joined the team, I saw one metal roof, and all of a sudden I just see it all the time now, right? I mean, and I think folks are getting very creative with installing metal on their home in addition to the asphalt, right? So I mean, it works. It works very, very well. I've seen some beautiful metal roofs out there, but aesthetics wise, you have color options. You have color options, and also you have texture options too. So our Fluoropan line, our Weather Excel line, you have a ton of color options. But then the crinkle technology from Sherwin-Williams, that gives it a textured feel. So and appearance as well. So it could emulate a lot of different things, and it's just differentiator. It just comes down to giving homeowners more options. And what better company to do that than one that knows color, like Sherwin-Williams.
Right. Yeah. You guys, yeah. That's a whole nother webinar that we've done in the past about color
Hmm.
with your color experts who are great, Bryn and Kiki. So go check that one out
Absolutely.
on demand.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But let's talk about life cycle value too, right?
Hmm.
It's
So
very long lasting.
very 30, 40 years, and you can recycle it, so it's very long lasting. And the importance of the metal roof, you have to also factor in the reliability of the coating, right? And so the life cycle, we know it, we test it, we use all of our ASTM measurements, right? So we do put our coatings through the ringer, make sure that it is backed by science and our technology behind our R&D teams as well. So yeah, 30, 40 years, it should last you a good amount of time.
Yeah, yeah. And I like that you mentioned, the metals being used not only for full roofs, but as accents, as
Hmm.
there's some homes in my neighborhood that have some asphalt shingles, and then they have accent areas of metal that
Right.
really add that style and character. And so if you're, a contractor that right now maybe is just doing asphalt shingles, you may have the opportunity that would be a great way to get started in metal as well as being able to offer those opportunities to homeowners that are looking for something unique and different. So let's talk
Hmm.
about the opportunities for contractors that they get by offering metal.
Absolutely. It's just another option, differentiator. Funny enough, we know contractors who have completely shifted away from asphalt and now only offer metal. We've seen contractors do their own roll forming now as their business picks up. We also know contractors that do a hybrid, right? So it's the opportunity for some to offer that good, better, best product differentiation. It's the opportunity for some to say, you know what, I want to do less projects on an annual basis, projects that provide wider margins, get to spend more time with family, go on trips, whatever it may be, whatever they're passionate for. But it's just something that you can offer to not just the contractors, but to the homeowners, which will ultimately increase your sales. Yeah,
Yeah, and it says repeat work, but I think you have to keep in mind referral work too,
that
because
too.
you install a beautiful metal roof, and the neighbors are all taking a look at it, and they're saying, "Wow, that looks amazing," and it's gonna withstand the high winds. It's fire resistant. It's
Hmm.
got all these great properties to it. So it really will generate additional work once you're in a neighborhood, and it really does allow a contractor to differentiate themselves by being able to be versatile in their offerings.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the challenges, what are the challenges of adding metal to your business? Because it
Hmm.
can be a little intimidating, right? Like this is what we've done. We've always done or asphalt, and now I'm interested in getting into metal, but it just seems like a lot.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. The biggest one would be the accuracy, right? That's the biggest differentiator, I think, between asphalt and metal. Metal, I think a metal roofing system has to be considered or should be considered a custom roofing product or system. It's if you live in two different neighborhoods, no two houses are gonna be the same when it comes to the dimensions, right? And so with asphalt, the cost of it being cheaper, but then metal focusing more on preventing waste. So how do you do that? Then you start working with partners such as EagleView. You start working with partners such as Roofing Works, and then they're the ones that will really drive the value of the product to ensure that the contractor, what they're able to quote based off the measurement, is extremely accurate, right? So we do recommend always if you use the Roofing Passport tool to trust and verify the measurements, but Accuracy is probably one of the most important criteria when it comes to metal roofing quoting, estimation, quoting, and installation.
Yeah. So the first bullet there, though, start with training, right?
Hmm.
Can you talk about the importance of that and some of the resources like where, okay, great, start with training. Where do I get
Yeah,
training, right?
right. It come to MetalVue, and we will make the referrals to you, right? So when it comes to training, if you need install training, right? Let's say you need a refresher, or you're someone that's new to metal, we have a great guy for you. His name is John Sheridan, Sheridan Metal Resources. Um, what I've been learning through my conversations with partners, especially, is that they are very willing to share their knowledge and experiences and how they got from where they started off and how they are there today, right? And so it's something I really respect and admire. They don't safeguard that information. They're eager to share knowledge, and so John Sheridan is a great example of that. Um, you might need sales training, right? Stonegate Group. We've been working with them for years. What value do they bring to you? You can do upsell training, right? Good, better, best. So you're at home, you're offering the options to the homeowner. You have asphalt. Hey, have you considered metal? How can a contractor be comfortable offering that? So we have that vetted out as well. But training, very important. A lot of it can be learned through conversations, but also diving into it more with hands-on, in-depth training. We have the partners for you in John Sheridan and Stonegate Group.
Yeah, and so that sales, part of that sales training too, is it's almost like a consultative sale. You are
Hmm.
providing education, information, and to that homeowner about, you know, looking beyond the total price tag and
Right.
understanding that it is an investment and what you're going to get back out of it. And that if that metal roof lasts 40 or 50 years and you choose asphalt today, you're going to have to replace that asphalt roof in 20 years. And you're
Hmm.
not going to have to do that with metal. And the price of what you paid today is going to be a lot higher in 20 years. And I think being able to explain that in that manner. So, you see that light bulb go off and they're like, you know what? That's a really good point because prices, nothing's getting cheaper, right?
No.
It's just,
Right.
they just keep getting more expensive. So, we haven't really touched on MetalVue. We've got it on your background behind you.
Hmm.
We've name dropped it once or twice. So let's dive in to
Hmm.
maybe tell us about why MetalVue was started and
Hmm.
how it does help contractors increase their sales.
No, absolutely. So MetalVue was started to support anyone that wants to do more with metal or wants to get into metal. And what we realized, and it goes back to the education piece, is that us as a coatings company, there's a lot that we can share with contractors to help equip them to sell metal roofing, right? We know our coatings. We can provide you with the resources, the information for the SR ratings, SRI ratings, thermal ratings, and all of that, colors. We know all of that. We can teach you with through Coatings 101. But then what we also look for in our partners are the ones who understand contractors, right? That has to translate to the contractors. So MetalVue, if you look at it as a program that offers a suite of services or products, you don't have to use them. It, it's up to you. It's a la carte. Roofing Passport is the tool within MetalVue, but ultimately is a one-stop shop for anyone that wants to do metal or wants to do more with metal. You can network, you can learn, and you can grow your business through the MetalVue program.
Yes. And all the information about MetalVue is, of course, on metalcoffeeshop.com. We've got a full directory out there, but it really is a partnership that that Sherwin-Williams has established with vendors and platforms that they consider to be the best of the best in the industry. And Junie, you mentioned EagleView, right? You
Hmm.
mentioned Renower. No, what was the other one?
Roofing works,
Roofing Works. That's it.
right?
Yeah, Roofing Works. Um, and you said, okay, these are the ones that we've worked with. We know the quality. You don't have to do that vetting yourself.
Right.
There's visualizer tools in there that you can use in your sales process or share with your homeowners so that they can play around with colors and styles and designs. They're really equipping you with here's who we have partnered with, here's who we recommend, and having as much of that information and those tools at your fingertips does result in allowing your homeowners to make faster decisions and to
Hmm.
increase your close rates because they're confident. I mean, who doesn't know and trust the Sherwin-Williams brand? And if Sherwin-Williams is putting, their stamp of approval on the folks in the MetalVue program, then, you can feel confident that you're going to find success.
Absolutely. Because we're not charging anyone to be a part of the program. Sherwin-Williams is not collecting anything. Now, our partners have fees, right? Services and products, but for the MetalVue program, we're driving value to our customers. And if you are a part of our value chain, we're going to figure out ways to continue to drive value towards you guys. Um,
Yeah.
that's our challenge. That's all about continuous improvement.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about, the technology that in the metal space. And this you mentioned a roofing passport being the online platform that contractors can leverage to find their success. Talk a little
Mhm.
bit about what they'll find.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll have the most accurate aerial measurement in the industry in EagleView. Um, Proprietary data going back however many years. Very forward thinking, very intelligent team over there. But you need that accuracy rate for metal, right? And then of course you have Roofing Works, um, led by very strong leaders over in that company. Good people, good company. Also very forward thinking. They know the metal roofing space like the back of their hands. And the amount of we could probably spend days going over how much I've learned from those guys. But I really appreciate their style and their approach. They're also teachers. They like sharing information, their experiences. So it's very worthwhile to have a conversation with those guys. But those are the two partners within the Roofing Passport tool. And Roofing Works, you have a drawing, rendering, blueprint, whatever it may be, they will process that and give you what you need. Ultimately, what the Roofing Passport does is spit out the takeoff report in a very accurate manner. It tells you how many panels you need. It tells you what type of, other items you need to install it, flashing, butyl tape, whatever it may be. Everything you need to install a metal roof on a home, you can get it through the Roofing Passport tool.
Yeah, yeah, and that's so critical because you can have confidence that it's accurate.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest. I think that's one of the things that people prevents a lot of people from going down the metal road is because accuracy is so important because you can't be you can't be off by
Right.
a couple of inches or like
Right.
in asphalt it's real easy to get another
Hmm.
piece right, but in metal it's not so easy, so that can result in financial impact if you aren't correct. But you guys have put this together. It's really foolproof and it integrates into platforms that they're already using, right?
Hmm. And we're getting there. We're in each quarter, each year, we'll be delivering something new, but we're getting there. And
Yeah.
it it certainly helps when you surround yourself with good partners. We can go through the list, right? I mean, Metal Coffee Shop, Roofing Works, Eagle View, Up Level, Giddy Up, Stonegate, Loss Removal Products, Share Metal Resources. Um, it's a list of highly capable and good quality companies. So yeah, it's we've done the vetting for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We've done the hard work, and we and continue to ensure that any partner that we bring onto the MetalView program understands contractors, drives value to contractors, and also it's partnership, so it has to be equitable for everyone that's involved.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say it's kind of like you work with many different metal manufacturers across
Hmm.
the industry, right? So
Yes, ma'am.
if you are like, oh well, I want to work with this manufacturer, well, they're probably involved already in the MetalView program, right? Because is that kind of still how it starts is figuring out what manufacturer you want to work with?
Absolutely. And no, that's the spot on. So we will always give you the options. We will never say you have to do this, this, and that, right? If you are your home state of Pennsylvania, you're a contractor out there that wants to do metal, these are your options around your area. Like these are Sherwin-Williams coated metal manufacturers, and these are your options. So
Yeah.
I think that's the key. I don't like being told what to do, right? So especially if you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business, you made it this far. Um, yeah, I think having options is always a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, don't tell me that I have to work with this manufacturer. That I know who I want to work with. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now we're going to go a little bit deeper here about building the next generation of metal crews, right? We know that our industry, roofing, construction, we have labor challenges.
Yes.
And we've been talking about it and talking about it. And, it takes a long time to get that next generation ready. And so let's talk about some of the ways, because it's up to all of us. I say it's up to all of us. It's up to the contractors in providing these pathways
Hmm.
into our industry to participate with the tech and trade schools and Skills USA. So,
Right.
what are some of the things that you guys are messaging to folks to help them build that next generation?
Sure. I think we can start with the messaging of if you're part of MetalVue, we'll make sure that we kind of share all the relationships that we have built out, right? So for the contractor, I think too, we're seeing at a higher education level, we're seeing certain universities offer trade programs too. So that's a big one. And then also across the US, you have associations such as a Metal Roofing Alliance, right? So there are organizations out there to tap into, especially if you are a contractor building out your metal crew and you want to do more with metal. Um, we're seeing a good balance between national trade shows and regional trade shows, right? I think regional trade shows, um, there might be more flexibility to have engagement just due to the lesser number of attendees, but it's always good quality conversation opportunity. Um, but find a mentor. I think that would be a good one. And I think that applies for many industries, not just trade industry. I think one of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten is find someone to mentor and then find someone to mentor you, right? And I think that is the big step to take if you want to learn. Find someone that's been doing it for a while, understand their experiences, mistakes they made, things that they did very well, and then use that to kind of be your guidance going forward. But Sherwin-Williams can certainly help you. We're active in many organizations, associations, trade shows, and we also have good partnerships with a lot of subject matter experts out there. So we can certainly be the brand to support people that want to do more with metal.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just going to reiterate the importance of getting involved with an industry association, right?
Hmm.
You mentioned the Metal Roofing Alliance. Their purpose really is to educate homeowners and the market about the benefits and the resiliency of metal roofs. There's the Metal Construction Association, right? That
Hmm.
the National Roofing Contractors Association, and to not just become a member, but to get involved, show up for the meetings, go to the events, because that's where Junie will be there and he'll say, "Hey, let me introduce you to so and so over here. He's been doing, metal roofing for 30 years and can be somebody that you could pick up the phone and call." Because that's the kind of industry that we work in, right? Is like you said,
Absolutely.
people are so willing to share and give back and help you to avoid learning a lesson the hard way, right? Like
Hmm.
they may have experienced. So I can't
Absolutely.
reiterate that enough. And most association memberships are very affordable and
Hmm.
reasonable.
I think you make a really good point. I think people are passionate about just from conversations I've had, right? Latinos in roofing. I think people are passionate about sharing their experiences to make it easier for the next generation or whomever, anyone that's willing to get into the roofing side of the world. And yeah, I think it's a very selfless attitude to have. I respect it a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned regional,
Hmm.
some of the more regional events that are coming up, and that's so not everybody can go to the big national show, right? Where
Right,
where lots
right.
of people are, because maybe it's too expensive for travel. There
Hmm.
you can't take that much time off work. Whatever those reasons are, that's why it's always helpful to look in your area at your regional associations and regional events. There is a big show coming up in Florida, June 10th through 12th, and that Florida's very big into a lot of metal roofs down there, a lot of coastal homes and
Hmm.
properties. But you guys have a really incredible idea that you're going to launch right before the Florida regional event. And that's the MetalVue Roadshow because, not everybody can get out and come to these events. So you're going to take the event on the road. Let's talk about this. What's going to
We're hitting
happen?
the road. We are hitting the road. Education is a priority for us, and for that, we're going to hit the road and we're going to FRSA. So June 9th, um, same venue as where the FRSA will be held. We It's free of charge. All you have to do is register for it from 12 to 5. We are bringing the partners and Sherwin-Williams, the entire MetalView program, really, to FRSA. They've been gracious enough to allow us to host on site too. So, and there's a lot of things we're working behind the scenes too that we're driving towards. But no, it's the idea is we're bringing all the partners to you. You can get a preview of what to expect from the MetalView program, right? So, install training, upsell training. Um, we're doing partnerships through like processes, API, all those things to make your business more efficient. We have cleaning and maintenance, right? All those partners will be at FRSA week. That way, you don't have to go anywhere, right? Just
Yeah.
attend it. There'll be free lunch. There'll be drinks afterwards. All we ask for is your attendance just to learn and let us bring the show to you.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great event. I'm a little bummed I'm going to miss it this year, but our team will be there and we'll be
Yes.
getting pictures and getting video and talking to the folks that are there. We love it. And by the way, I just want to shout out in the picture here. That actually is John Sheridan that
Hmm.
Junie was talking about earlier. And he was at sort of a mini roadshow that Sherwin-Williams was at in Florida earlier this year that was a big success. So I think, it was such a great success there that you're going to continue to do it. And the
Absolutely.
venue is the Gaylord in Kissimmee, Florida. And I should have had the link ready to drop in the chat. I'm sorry, I don't. But I know we posted it today on our social media, and I know we've got it front and center on Rooker's Coffee Shop, on Metal Coffee Shop. Just click the link, sign up free. I mean, you can't beat that. And, if you're in Florida, it's local. And if not, who doesn't love a trip to Orlando, right? Okay. So now that we've talked through kind of the growth of metal, the why behind it, the resources that are available for success, let's talk about the future. Like you said, we're always striving to get better. There's new
Hmm.
things. So let's talk about if you can tell us what's happening without giving away all your R&D secrets.
Yeah. I think the best I think the best way to say something without giving away any secrets is just say stay tuned. But that's kind of lazy, so I probably shouldn't do that. But no, we're always looking at what else we can do. Um, I think within MetalView, we're understanding that a integration is something that makes a lot of sense for our customers, like the OEMs, metal manufacturers, and contractors too. So that's something that we might not be looking at. I don't know. We'll see. But no, something that we're challenging ourselves to figure out as well. Um, but anytime we release a new technology, then that also means that cleaning and maintenance will need to be factored in as well too. So we're looking at that as well. And but ultimately, what we're trying to do is kind of like what we're discussing today is just figure out ways to drive value to the contractors. How can we open doors for contractors? How can we make life easier, as easy as possible for contractors? So how do we support the contractor industry with MetalView program? And I think we can utilize the rise of technology. AI might be one that we're looking at, right? So what can we do to make your life as easy as possible is something that we ask ourselves quite frequently.
Yeah, the rate that technology is changing today,
Hmm.
whether that be like you mentioned AI, which everyone's getting tired of hearing about AI already, and it's not even been around that long. They're like,
I
ah,
know.
I'm being AI to death. But by having a company like Sherwin-Williams and the MetalVue program looking at those things and studying them and helping us figure it out on the
Hmm.
other side is really powerful. And I think you said when we were talking the other day, when we were getting ready for this, you were like, we're not going anywhere. We are just hyper focused on continuous improvement for customers, being, customers, contractors, the industry in
Right.
general. So yeah, and providing those resources, that ongoing education, it's admirable to see
Mhm.
all the effort that you guys have put into bringing all of this together and all free for the contractors. That's the best part.
All free. Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll we'll be here for a bit, I think.
You've been around this long,
Mhm.
right? You are not going anywhere for sure.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. I have not seen any questions come in, but I'm gonna just do a quick check over here of my Q&A, and I think we are good. Um, you did a thorough job of explaining it. That's why we don't have any questions. So I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you for being here, for sharing all this information. And I'm going to tell everyone to head over to the MetalVue website, makemorewithmetal.com, and go to Metal Coffee Shop. And if you just type MetalVue in the search box at the top of the site, you'll find their directory right there with links to all this information. And don't forget to sign up for June 9th for the road show. And you'll be having more road shows coming after this, right, Junie?
That's the plan. That
Yeah.
is the plan.
All right. So yeah, stay tuned. Like I said, follow us on social media. Head on over to Metal Coffee Shop. We'll have information about any of these upcoming events that'll be in different parts of the country. So if Florida's out of reach for you, don't worry because they'll be coming to a town near you soon, I'm sure. All right. Thank you all for being here for this metal talk. Be sure to share it with anyone you think would benefit from these tips that we shared today. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.